getting my workout on. So yeah, it was kind of a crazy morning. I mean, good, but I just it was just that I didn't get, I'm behind on all of my time, but I got everything in. I did my meditation and I was able to even do my journal writing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to get back into motion because ever since Miami, I kind of been out of sync. So
Okay.
trying to get my stuff back together. So I heard you had a great workout
Oh
today.
my God.
Yeah.
It it was good.
Now, okay. Was it
Oh,
at the gym?
yes.
And what made it so good
I
today?
don't know.
Uh,
I know. It
I
was like I
love
got in
that.
my car like, oh my God, this is like I feel alive. It
Uh,
was so it was so good. I mean, I took my body to some other places. I increased poundage on some areas of my body, on my weights, whatever. But I went harder on the elliptical. I have no idea. I don't know, but I did not want to stop.
whatever
Right.
works, huh?
I know. I did not want to stop today. I was like, oh, one day in my life, I'm gonna just be able to do this until I'm done and then go home.
Uh-huh.
It just, it was so good. You know how you
That,
be walking and you don't want to stop walking? It's like, oh, all right, I guess I need to turn around and go back. It was such a good workout. Maybe it was the music I was listening to. I don't know. It was
oh,
good. It was so,
good. What a
so good.
blessing when that happens, huh?
I know. I can't wait to
Uh,
feel my body like in the next couple of days, like to see
uh-huh.
the areas that I worked out today to see how they feel because it usually happens on the areas that I worked out today I won't work out tomorrow, but the next day I'll start to feel the impact of today's workout.
Girl, it's so funny because sometimes the same thing happens to me. Like I don't in the moment I don't really feel it, but then a few days later, them
Yeah.
squats, it's like, oh
Exactly.
my
Yes.
God, what's
Yes.
wrong with my body? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I
So
love that feeling. And that feeling gives it's like a high for me. So, so when I don't feel it, I increase my poundage so I can feel it. I like to feel it somewhere on me.
yeah.
And
What? Oh, that's such a good thing for us to talk about today. Is
so
healing our body. Ooh, that's a
yes,
juicy idea,
yes,
Stephanie.
it is a juicy idea, and
Let me
yeah,
write that down. Like work to feel your body. That's
mm,
that's right on time. As a matter of fact, that came up in my meditation.
really. All right,
Um,
there you go.
yes, work to feel your body.
Yes.
That's juicy. So I'm still really like elated and excited about this that we are doing and how it's all coming together. I think I'm just excited about all of this and just about yeah, the conversation, the impact that it can have, all of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
wonderful.
it's really good. Um,
And
it's
then
so
that
good.
I got that message that like we only scratched the surface. I was like thinking to myself, like, yeah, buddy, but how deep are we gonna go into so we could spend all of our time going really deep in the second chakra.
Right, exactly. But we need
Um
to kind of like, yeah.
yeah. I think that we'll kind of push through and really give folks some things to think about, I think, in this second chakra. Because here's where I was, because yesterday how it ended up with that, getting that little holy roller criticism.
That's what you took it as.
Well, so
that word sin was a trigger for me.
Okay.
And the secret was a trigger for you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So and here's why, because I will say that I struggled just like anybody else does, right? I struggled when I was younger with this idea of, is God a deceiver, right?
Yes. I like that language, because that's the question.
Good morning, Desmond. Yeah, it's really, I mean, for me, that was what it boiled down to. Would I have, an all-knowing God? Would I have a body? Would I have feelings? Would I have all of what I had if I was not supposed to take advantage of the bounty?
Yes.
Right. I think that that's the way that I couched it to myself, my young self, like when I was trying to reconcile, that clear stuff that I was finding, when I was trying to reconcile what was natural, right? What was natural. It's not like I had to go out and seek or some perversion came up for me. It was what was natural. And we try to push it down so much. Mm-hmm. And I kept thinking to myself, like, well, wait a minute, something has got to be wrong. It's either this is nature and natural, or somebody has misinterpreted or given me a misinterpretation of how I'm supposed to, a misinterpretation of what is natural. Mm-hmm. And so, I decided that I'm going to follow the breadcrumbs of what's natural. Mm-hmm. And so I love, I know that there's a tug of war because there is that good girl thing that we're supposed to, yeah, that people aspire to. But I also know that there is a certain, that we have suppressed our nature. Yeah,
and so and because I wanted to be a good girl, when you said aspire, what instantly came to me is that it was a prescription, because I don't know if it's an aspiration. I think we prescribe to that because all of us have that same natural experience that you had, but it's almost like, no, I'll just take the pill and push it away and push it away and push it away, and then judge myself for the experience, or judge myself for the thought, or judge myself for in connecting in a way that I have been prescribed to say that it's wrong, bad, good, or the wrong timing. Your timing is off. And then now that you know that I am the creator of my experience, so if my timing is off, then there's going to shame demands consequence. So therefore, now you have consequence to support the shame. It's just so. Today is beautiful, but in the midst of it, it's just so convoluted and polluted and it just doesn't make sense if you let things go in its natural flow to have this, good girl complex or this goal to, until you want to. Like today, I just want to wait. I want to. It's important to me, but it's not because of any rules.
Right.
It's just that I got so much to give now. It's like, it ain't anybody's choice. Like, it's like, I want to wait because I'm just big.
Right.
So I'm choosing to hold myself because it's important to me.
Right.
But
Mhm.
before it was to follow the rules.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
It was to follow the rules.
Yes to that, all that, right? Yes. And so yeah, so all of that was what came to bear in that conversation, right? That revelation.
Mhm.
And so when you were just talking about the feelings in our body, right?
Mhm.
Um, is it's important that we not push down the feelings that are natural because of the judgments attached to them.
Yeah.
It's important that somebody says to us, feelings are okay,
Yes.
that your body is not inherently bad.
Yes. When you were talking, I was thinking, I hope my granddaughter experiences life the way you did. Like, I want her to have that freedom to just be okay because she's beautiful. And I don't want her to question or, diminish any value to certain parts of herself. Like, no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, yeah,
yeah,
embrace all of that. It's all good.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's get into this. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I feel like singing the song. We're all in our places with nice shiny faces. This is the way we start our new day. That's part of my conditioning. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. It's part of our conditioning. And so here we
Something.
are.
Hmm.
So and so today we are going to dive right back into this work out of Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Ness. Um, I, for if in case you're just tuning in for the first time, I'm Sandra and that's Stephanie. I think she's
Morning,
over.
morning, morning.
Yeah, I don't know which way it is on your screen, but over here it's this way on my screen.
Well, you
So
pointed to me.
yes.
I pointed to you. So I don't know either.
Yeah.
When I'm
So
on StreamYard, I'm on the other side. So I don't know. Don't worry about it.
okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
when you pointed to me, it pointed to me.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh
I've
gosh.
only been on StreamYard once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting platform.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we go. We are diving back into this work. And yesterday we had such a great conversation. If you guys did not see it, if you have not seen yesterday's, I would suggest that put a pause in this one and go back and watch that one. Today might be even better. So I don't know. Who knows, it might be, it might not be, I don't know. We there is no plan, as you can see. We just meander our way through this book, right? And so what comes up comes out. And for me, I'm not editing myself. For me, I'm not even censoring anything. I'm saying what it is that comes up. So today, as we move forward, of course, I kind of yeah, I was reminded of a few things that I'm going to share, but I want to at least make it out of this particular paragraph. We are at the top of 143, and we have not made it out of the paragraph that we were on. Sometimes it's even a half of a sentence that gets me going, where we get stuck. And yeah, Stephanie, I'm so curious. I'm being nosy though. For some reason, I want to ask you, what's in the picture over your shoulder? Who is that in that turquoise?
I'd love to tell you that. My grandparents. I don't know if you can see them.
Okay. Now, who is this?
My mother's mother and father.
Your mother and father.
My mother's mother and father.
Oh, your grandparents.
My grandparents.
Okay. Hey, how long ago was that?
Oh my gosh. I was 20 years old when they took this picture. We did some family portraits.
Uh-huh.
While.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 20 years old.
Okay.
So, and my grandmother used to have giant portraits of me because I used to be a picture taking fanatic, professional picture taking fanatic. And she used to have these giant portraits of me in her house. And so when I found that one in my mom's shed, I thought I should return the favor. I just haven't put it up on the wall yet. Because all my life there's been some portrait of me, not the little picture, but something big on the wall.
Oh, cool.
I thought I should return the favor because I've always had big pictures. My grandmother always figured out some way to put a big picture of me up on the wall.
Nice, nice, nice. And the picture looked like it was out of the 70s, but you say it's
The 80s, 86.
okay, okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. You know,
Thank you for
yeah,
asking.
that's powerful. I thank you for sharing and being so willing to share that. Thank you. And for some reason it was calling to me.
Yeah, because it's been there the whole time.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yes.
All right, so sexuality connects us to our own bodies and physical needs, as well as our potential for exploring our erotic and sensual aspects. And so yesterday I kind of got a little stuck there because so much of our lives we have been estranged from our bodies. We have not fully embodied our own bodies. And that is for a number of reasons. That is because we have a legacy, and I know people talk about the ways in which we weave this in and out of our conversation, but without talking about it from a historical aspect, we lose something. That is not to say that we all don't struggle with our own set of historical things, right? So for Blacks, we have a legacy of slavery. For somebody else, there may be any number of things. They used to do witch hunts on women like me and Stephanie, right? Because powerful women just are not accepted or acceptable. And so any way that they could stomp that down or stomp that out has been perpetrated. So whether your legacy was slavery or the parts of the wild women, or whether you felt ostracized by your church or the people and your teachings and tried to walk that straight and narrow line, you may have received that same kind of or level of estrangement from yourself in order to fit in. And that's not to say that is, and men are included in that scenario. This society has done a major brain.
Yep.
Yes. Right. And the interesting thing about it is that by and large, it's not, I don't want to say that it's intentional. It's learned. And once we learn it, we keep passing the same thing down over and over again.
Yeah.
And so what here we're trying to do is to stop that craziness that keeps us teaching the same thing over and over again with the idea that it keeps us safe, or that it stops other people from judging us or talking about us. It makes us more desirable. It keeps the institution of marriage and church and all of these things in order, all of that stuff. We are really
I got goosebumps because it just is there it's there to keep us in line. Interesting that it's the second part, the second chakra. It keeps us in line, so it deadens our creativity, as if there's not more to learn and to invent. And so we got all these inventors out here. Our ancestors were amazing inventors.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And yet it's kind of slowing down, and it's been given over to a different group of people because we've shut it down to stay compliant.
Yes. All of that, and the interesting thing is sometimes when you read the narratives about the people who have just kind of said, okay, the heck with y'all, right? The heck with y'all. There is something in me that is pulling me in a particular direction. And who am I not to follow that?
Yes.
Right. And so a lot of times what we do is we stop following because we have stopped feeling.
Mm-hmm. And so for protection, like this is the protection, but yeah, if we have to write a permission slip, feel yourself. You're feeling yourself. Yes, I am.
Yes. Protection from what though? Because what we do is once we try to, can you imagine a baby not learning to walk because it's trying to protect itself? It's like falling is part of the process.
It is. That's yummy. That's good right there.
Right? That's part of the process. And when we deny ourselves that, that like the pain of growth, when we deny ourselves that, how do we get there?
We don't. And we get bored and sloppy and messy and and the thinking goes on. We calcify our brains, get Alzheimer's, dementia. So many things show up when we don't.
Yes. And so we are encouraging you guys to wake up, right? To get in touch with that part of yourself that that is the body that has these things called feelings. And so let me try to make it through this paragraph because we got so much juice. Man. And so we started out this session talking about with Stephanie, talking about how she wants to feel her body. So let me get through this. But she says the potential for, look, I gotta circle back on this sentence. The potential for exploring our erotic sensual aspects. And so yes, that's a permission that we have to give for exploring these. So sexual eroticism, she goes right into this. She says sexual eroticism is a form of physical and emotional liberation, as well as, so physical and sensual liberation, as well as spiritual liberation. Now, because that's so big. It's so interesting because I went to a workshop one time on the how do I want to say it? The idea of spirituality and sexuality being of the same energy. And so often we have been taught that those things are opposed to one another, that you can only be sexual or sensual in the confines of a holy matrimony, right? Of a holy relationship. And so therefore, if you are not in one or have or if you are in one and haven't experienced that, somehow we think that what do we stop thinking about it? We stop feeling it, or we think that somehow it's not ours to have. And
Right.
so been this effort to squash down. Can you imagine? Oh yeah, you can. Most people can, because what we do is we squash down so many of our desires, whether it's a desire for food or friendship or happiness or I mean, we squash down curiosity,
Yeah.
right? Is that not crazy? We squash down our curiosity. Well, I said curiosity, right?
Yeah.
We squash down our appetite, whether it's for food or for beauty or for organization. We squash down so much of ourselves that it's a wonder that we even know who the heck we are. But somehow it
We
seems,
don't.
yeah, well, yeah, but somehow it sometimes seems to like seep out of the cracks. But sometimes what it is that we're so busy looking around at other people and we're thinking like, oh, she's great, maybe I'll emulate her, maybe I will copy that, right? I will say that there is such a am I getting all off track?
No, keep going. You're fine.
There is such a desire for us to please other people
Mhm.
that we forget that the real person that we are here to be is the person who is listening or perceiving this right now. You are supposed to be you.
Mhm.
I mean,
And be about the business of figuring that out.
right. And
Remember.
and that is so huge to me, to be about that business of bringing all of you back together. Let me digress for a second, because I want to we use that remember all the time, because it comes from a story of Isis and Osiris, right? It's a powerful, beautiful story. And I always, whenever I want to tell that story, I'm always like looking around like, okay, where's my book? I can tell the story in my own words, but I'm always looking for like the somebody else's words to do. So
Do the
let
Sandra
me
version.
huh?
Do the
Yeah,
Sandra version.
I'm gonna do the quick Sandra version, right? So Isis and Osiris, as you know, were god status as in Greek mythology. And as the story goes, they were both birthed as divine, immortal beings. And they had this brother named Seth who was really jealous of their relationship because Isis and Osiris were so close. As a matter of fact, so close that you would call it incestuous love. And so, as the story goes, Seth, because he was, that other brother, was really jealous of that. And so he decided that he was going to kill Osiris so that he could have Isis all to himself. And so, but of course, remember, these are immortal beings, right? They are life forces unto themselves. So the first time I think that Seth killed Osiris, he went and he killed him and he cut him up, and here I am. And being the immortal being that she is, Isis resurrected her love, right? She resurrected him. And the way that the story goes, in that resurrection, I think that they conceived a child. And I don't want to get that part in there because that part is not significant to the story. But then Seth decided, doggone it, I killed this dude once, I need to kill him again. And this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut him into little pieces, and I'm going to spread out his pieces all over the earth, right? And so he killed him, and he started chopping them up, and he spread out all of his pieces, and he took his penis and he took it down to the deepest part of the ocean, and he buried it there. And so, it was like all of this stuff. Now let's see what you're gonna do with that. He was like, I'm here. And so now he's trying to get Isis again. Like, and she's like, dude, no. And so what she did is when she got into her stuff through the power of her love, she remembered all of his parts, meaning she brought every part of him back together into one whole. Even bringing that penis up from the bottom of the ocean, she brought him back.
Yes, she did.
Remembered him. Mm-hmm. And so when we talk about this remembering, it is bringing the severed parts of ourselves back together through love into the one whole. And so it serves as a powerful analogy for all of us when we remember who we are, right? That the power of as Gene Houston would call it, the power of that second Genesis. Mm-hmm. That bringing forth, that breathing life into who we are meant to be. Mm-hmm. That's your role. That's your responsibility right now, to breathe life into your true self. Mm-hmm. And you cannot do that until you bring all the members, meaning if you've sunk your penis or your pussy down to the bottom of the deep blue, that means remembering that and bringing that in too. Mm-hmm. Because that is an important part without which you are not whole.
Right. And you can't go. All the rest of it is like makeshift. It's not even there. Like you get this giant piece missing. And so if you haven't done your energy work and your heart is still all closed off, then you got to go get it, bring it back, so we could all be. It all lights up.
Yes.
All lights up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they talk about this thing of sexual eroticism, most people will think about perversion, and it's not that, right? Perversion is different than eroticism. But until we make peace with that piece of ourselves, we will still think of it as perverted or dirty, or somehow we will associate it with the depravity that we see out here in society. And we are not talking about that. Right? Mm-mm. We are talking about something different within you. So then she asked the question, why spiritual? Erotic pleasure by its nature is in the moment. Sometimes I gotta do my happy dance, right? It's in the moment. And in the moment is, remember, right? Is the now. That means that it's not something, you don't have an orgasm in yesterday's memory. It's in the now. Right?
I hope not, right?
And so if it brings you into the now moment, it also means that your sense of separateness dissolves.
Right.
So when it talks about this idea of joining, this joining doesn't happen if you're judging. Joining doesn't happen if you sitting up there. Let me tell y'all this, because this is so weird to me. Or not weird to me, but I was in the store the other day shopping. Mark's, not a big department store or anything. I'm in Mark's shopping, and I'm walking around with a book in my ear. So I'm listening to a book, and I tend to meander a little bit when I'm listening to books. I'm just looking at things, and and I saw somebody out of the corner of my eye who seemed to be watching me, right? And so he did one of those little things that you would see in a cartoon. So, I go to one thing and he kind of circles, and he's kind of like, I know he's watching me, whatever. And it's like this, and he's constantly getting closer to where I am. It's some Inspector Gadget comes to mind, but he's constantly getting closer to where I am until finally, here he is, and he says something to me. And I speak, hi, you're right. And he says, and I got on a mask, right? I got on a mask. So I speak through my mask. Hi. He does not have on a mask. And he says to me, I like your hair. And I said, oh, thank you so much. And he was like, who did it? And then I said, why, you getting yours done? I was like, and he's bald. He's totally bald. Right. And then he was like, so we kind of started.
You have a daughter.
You said what? Oh, his daughter. Okay. Yeah. So but I thought I was gonna play with it for a minute,
Yeah, yeah.
You like going through that whole thing. So but while I'm sitting there talking to him, what I felt like is that I was under evaluation.
Oh.
Like he had to look me up from head to toe and was really trying to size me up. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just kind of like thinking to myself, like, okay, right? But now here's the thing. Here's the thing, because part of me was like thinking to myself, like, I was thinking about all the people who under such circumstances would want to be chosen. People have this desire to be evaluated and checked off, like, oh, this one is good. And so when we talked earlier, Miss Stephanie, about this work to
grab a call. I'm listening though.
Okay. Work to feel your body. As I was thinking about this, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I impressed upon you today was this idea of work to feel your body. Stephanie said something about this earlier. If you didn't start or you didn't see it from the beginning, we were talking about working out, and she was talking about how she likes the feeling of the burn, I guess you could say. She didn't use that word, but the burn that you feel when you are working your body, because then she knows that she's actually working her body. But if our only aspiration is to be chosen or to be approved of, we are stuck in what I talked about yesterday, that people-pleasing mode, without really realizing or asking ourselves, where's the pleasure for me? And so what I did in the instance when I was being evaluated, I did like that woman, Regina Thomas Hauser, in her book called Pussy, told us to do, is asking your body, asking your pussy, are you interested in this man, right? Not whether or not he's interested in me, but am I interested in him? Are we all of my members interested. And so it takes you out of this thing of the somebody superior to you, because that's exactly how it is that, or the relationship. Like when we go into these things, we're going into this as if we are being selected, which already puts us in a subordinate role. And until we feel empowered enough to say, I choose, right? And until we feel empowered enough to say, I choose, you will always be neglecting this sense of erotic pleasure, or this sense of feeling as if you are entitled to be there as an equal entity. This thing, the whole structure of how sexuality, sensuality, spirituality is not about a hierarchy. It's not about being subordinate to somebody, but rather, how do we come together as the yin to my yang? How do we come together in balance with somebody? Not in, oh, he chose me, and so therefore I must go with him. It is, how do we choose each other? And until we check in with ourselves, we are still in that, oh, please select me mode. And that, my friends, that day should have ended last night, right? And so, so I am, this work is so important, because one of the things that we have to begin to do is this process of bringing all of our parts into the conversation, all of our bodies, all of our feelings, and all of our emotions. And some of you are saying, yeah, Sandra, it's a little late for that, right? Because we somehow think that there's parts of you that has died. Well, I'm gonna challenge you, and I think I said this yesterday. I want to challenge you to breathe life back into your body. If you have not experienced feelings, if you don't know the sexual, sensual part of yourself, I would challenge you to begin to do. I mean, when I think about this, breathe life back into your body. Yes, we can take it back to Genesis and think that we have, there's this breathing into, or we can take it like mouth to mouth resuscitation imagery of breathing back into the parts of ourselves. Sometimes we got to sit in that energy. Sometimes we've got to sit in that space where we begin to recognize that it is not dead, it is not gone. And I don't care how old you are, how dusty it is, how many cobwebs you perceive yourself to have, you do have resurrection power, right? And I know I'm using words all out of the Bible. That is because spirituality and sexuality at their highest are one and the same. Psychology, spirituality, all of this come together in you. Oh my God, this is so good. So the funny thing is I love the way the imagery, like I think Stephanie said, seek my voice, right? Seek that voice. Good morning, Tony. Seek that voice of your body, that voice that says, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm awake, I'm still here. Thank you for thinking about me, right? Thank you for seeing me something other than a tool to be used, right? For knowing that I've got feelings and emotions. We want somebody else to know that we got feelings and emotions, but we're not generous enough with our own bodies and our own selves to recognize that it has feelings and emotions too, that are craving your attention. Oh my gosh. I hope you know, I tell you, this is so good. This is so juicy. So she says that erotic pleasure by nature is in the moment. It brings you into the now moment, now faith, right? Into the now moment. That means right here, present now. an encounter in which we drop most of our physical boundaries in order to enjoy the full measure of human contact, right? Um, and I think that that is so important. And some of us, I'll say myself included, some of us are really starved for physical contact. And just because you don't have any, or you don't have any potential, doesn't mean that you give up on that. Part of, remember, I was saying, and we talk about this thing, the energy field that is created around you will say, I'm dead, I'm dormant, I'm like a piece of cardboard, I'm not alive, I'm not awake, I'm not engaged. And so what we get is a response to that. And so that becomes our reality because we're walking in that presence. When you begin to wake up, when your body begins to wake up, people start looking at you like, what is this? What? Ha, right? And then they want to, and so you begin, as you wake up, you begin to draw to you your tribe. You begin to draw to you the people who are there and are after the same things, that whether it's that sensual touch or whether it's the intimacy of a conversation, right? It doesn't have to be, and we don't have to, because sometimes people, the part of the problem is too is that people go from 0 to in the bed in 1.2 seconds, right? And we skip over the getting to know you or the intimacy of a conversation or the intimacy of a touch, because it goes right to the perversion or right to the act itself without recognizing that there is a romancing that can happen. There is a getting to know you. There is a I see you and I desire to be seen too. And so all of that begins to work together when we recognize that it's a process. We have to stop, and what that brought up for me too is that scene that is in that movie or in the show, The Underground Railroad, is that master saying that you're gonna have sex with this woman, whether you're attracted to her or not. You're about to have sex with her, and I'm going to watch you to make sure that you do it. So therefore, perform on demand. It don't matter whether you like her, don't matter whether you're attracted to her. I need more slaves for my, to work in my field. And so you got these people who were forced to procreate. And so now we get into bed, we dive into situations with people just to be chosen, right? Or just to yeah, because somehow we just don't want to be asked out. It's musical chairs all over again. So we do things that are against our nature just so we're chosen. You feel like you're it. Well, you got to start choosing yourself. Ah, so so we get into those situations, we put ourselves in those situations, and then we are surprised. We act like, oh, I'm so hurt because it didn't work out. It didn't work out because it wasn't supposed to. It didn't. And sometimes we set up camp there, right? We get in relationships that are not for us, that don't serve us, don't enliven us, and then we set up camp and then be so upset because it doesn't pan out, it doesn't work because you haven't brought all of your members to the party. So you got to find that, you got to retrieve that, and then begin to work on that. So so let me move on, because this is so juicy to me. um so so when we are engaged, when we are enlivened, when we call our bodies back, when we remember ourselves, then we are in a standpoint where we draw to us what we are, that like. And so So just getting to the point where, hey, Craig, good morning. Yeah, just getting to the point where we start to bring all of that stuff back into play is major. Explored without shame. I'm back into her book, right? Into that paragraph. Explored without shame. Ooh, because shame is just, you know what? I'm gonna wait for Stephanie to talk about that word shame, because I don't think we know what we do to ourselves. No, let me say this. Shame is saying is part of that severing of self. It's part of saying that as I am, I'm not good, right? Um, there is this hiddenness about shame. And so we press things down, we cover them over, we don't want to own them. That becomes the part that we keep locked away over there in something else, right? And it becomes our deep dark secret. And because I like to equate stuff to stuff that we know. Shame is like that meat that, you know, I'm vegetarian, right? It's like that meat though that you got in the back of that deli drawer that is starting to stink. Like, you may not want anybody to know that it's there, um, but it's there and it's giving off evidence that it's there, right? We just don't know that that evidence is still out there and other people can smell it. Somebody will turn around and say, "Ooh, what you got in your refrigerator that went bad?" Right? What you got in there that went bad? We don't know that it's reeking. We just think, you know, oh, can't nobody else see it. Yes. And until you take it out and deal with it, it will continue to give off the aroma that says I am there. So this idea of shame, we gotta, you know, part of this is, and you know, we said yesterday that you're as sick as your secrets, right? Or you know, in this idea, I try not to have secrets, right? Because I know that it, you know, all of the stuff that I go through, I don't look at it as if it's unique to me, as if it hasn't happened to somebody else, as if somebody is not there. And so it's a gift to me. My experiences, my life is a gift to me, right? And if I don't share that gift, then that means that what, you know, what I share it because I recognize that through sharing we learn. Cicely Tyson, I'm reading her book right now, and her book I think is titled "Just as I Am." It's a wonderful, wonderful book, and you know, she's taking you through the areas of her life, is autobiographical. And one of the things that she was talking about in there was she went in for to meet with somebody, and she asked this man why he didn't have any Black actors, actresses in his company. And one of the things that he told her was is that the reason, and she was saying he was so matter of fact about it. He was like, well, the reason why we don't have any Blacks in our company is because the moment they walk on the scene, or the moment a Black woman comes on the stage, the thoughts turn instantly to sex, as if in and of ourselves we have been sexualized by society. And so the way that Cicely Tyson recounts the story, she was so appalled that he said it without any um you know, what do I want to say, without censoring it, without acknowledging the fact that she was a Black woman and that he was talking about her in the grouping that he was putting her in. And so she talked about it from a dignity standpoint, where she got up and she left, right? Like, how dare you reduce me down to just being sex or a object of sex. And a lot of times, not only do we have people that do that to us, we are guilty of doing that to ourselves. And so sometimes I look at the way that our, our our sisters dress, right? And some people might look at me and say, oh, look at the way you dress, right? I don't care what I put on. People tell me I can put on a burlap sack and I will still look like sex. It has absolutely nothing to do with the clothes that I have on. But some people, especially when I was in Miami, they so busy trying to get you to choose them that they put on any and everything, that to put stuff out there to kind of say, choose me, choose me, choose me. And then when they're chosen, whether or not this person enlivens something within them or not, is that they have been chosen. Whoa, the music is on and they happy, right? And they stay in some toxic, crazy stuff because somebody chose them. Yeah, they chose you as their victim, right? And not necessarily as the equal, not the yin to the yang, not any of that. So it becomes this thing of getting to know ourselves, right? So that we can be our full selves. All of our members there together. Let me finish this because I'm still not. I got in the first 3 words of that sentence, and I'm still not through the paragraph. So, explored without shame, erotic energy can elevate the human body and spirit into a sensation of ecstasy. You guys, oh, let me finish. Let me finish this sentence. At times, producing altered states of consciousness, right? Explored without shame, erotic energy can elevate the human body and spirit into sensual sensations of ecstasy, at times producing altered states of consciousness. Now, here's the thing, is that some of y'all, one, won't believe that that's possible, right? Two, will somehow think that, oh, I'm not deserving of uh, ecstasy, right? Let me stop for a second. Not only do you have the ability, you have the responsibility. You have the ability and the responsibility to experience the fullness of your body and what it can do. That's so big, right? Wait a minute. Let me explain this to you too. Let me explain this to you. Because I want to, for those of you who have never heard me talk, I want to make sure that you're understanding how I work. I do ministry work, I do training work. I'm always talking to people. And what I have found is that I work best when I'm able to listen to that, what people call that still small voice that speaks to us, right? That still small voice that speaks to us and through us. And so what I tap into is an energy that is beyond myself. And even when I hear something that seems like it is beyond where I am in consciousness, one of my prayers is that I have the ability and the wisdom to understand what it is that I am receiving. And so I'm not trying to just talk to you from the level of my own understanding, right? I am trying to speak to something that is beyond me, right? Something that I am getting on high, right? I am receiving. And so when I get, when it says here, and I know this to be true, right? I always say to people, if anybody is able to experience something, if anybody is able to have a miracle, so too are you. If anybody is able to experience ecstasy, so too are you. If anybody is able to do the miracles, so too are you. Jesus said, all these things I do, you can do also, and greater things, right? And so if that is the case, then it is not only possible for you, it is one of your responsibilities to endeavor to move in that direction. So if you believe that ecstasy is not in your wheelhouse, if you have not experienced it, then it becomes part of your responsibility to awaken that piece in you. Y'all, I don't know, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have got to have the perfect person on hand. That's one of the things that Stephanie talked about earlier too, about this wanting to wait, wanting to wait until it's right. Because just going down the street and going eeny, meeny, miny, mo is not what I'm talking about. I am not talking about just finding somebody just for the sake of having somebody. I'm not talking about that. If you're already in the context of a relationship, there are books out there that can help you create an energy or an environment where these things just kind of happen, right? There are just, and sometimes it means that you just need to work on you, right? That book that we keep referring to, called Pussy, is by Regina Thomas Hauser. I think that's powerful. There are a lot of OBGYNs who have written books about our libido. There has been countless studies that have talked about this thing of waking up ourselves. And maybe in waking up ourselves, then we get to have a different experience, right? We get to have this engagement in our bodies. But now here is the other thing, right? Sometimes we are so judging against ourselves. We are caught up in our own judgments about ourselves and our bodies that I forget what comedian it was that says, I wouldn't be a part of a group that would have me for a member. Right? Some of you are in such a space of self-hatred and self-loathing that you can't love anybody who would love you. Or sometimes we try to let ourselves go or be so sloppy that we can't receive the love that is trying to be given to us. And in that regard, we got work to do on ourselves. And so part of the remembering, I believe, is this self-acceptance of who we are. How you are is right who you are supposed to be. God didn't make any mistakes, not with you, right? Not with anybody. There are no mistakes. You may have a mistaken interpretation, but you are not a mistake. And so given what you have, given who you are totally worthy of love and being loved. And so it is incumbent upon you, right, to begin to explore that part of yourself that you have denied, all of you. And I'd say commit to the exploration. Okay, so Jeremiah is back. What go-to book or books are you prescribing to lead you to your path or paths of righteousness? Well, wait a minute. Why do I need a book? Am I not enough? Right? Why do I need a book? Right? I go and I sit in meditation. Why do you need a book? Somebody has maybe told you that you are not valid enough on your own to do your own thinking. Is that possible? Do you not have a mind just like every white man or every other author that has ever written or published a book? Do you not have that mind within you? Are you not able to hear? Does God not speak to you? What? I'm not understanding that. Only through a book can I be righteous. Is that true? Yeah. Do you think shame isn't worthy of being in the dictionary? What?
I just put my call on mute. I can't comment today, but I definitely have a whole list of comments for tomorrow, you guys. I love you so much. But
It's time to go anyway,
all
but
right. I'll see you tomorrow.
I don't know why. Wait a minute. I don't know why he thinks that that's like dropping a bomb on somebody, right? Yes, we are our own books and we need to read it. Thank you, Craig, author. And Craig has written a few books, right? Yes, we are our own. Yes, yes. So
Love you, Sandra. Great stuff. I
thank
gotta
you,
go.
dear. All
Sorry.
right.
Bye
No
bye.
worries. No worries. Thank you. All right, y'all. And so that's part of our problem, right? Somebody has abdicated, right, authority over your own life and your own thinking. Abdicating means to throw it away. It's not valid, it's not worthy enough. Y'all, this is about reclaiming who we are ourselves, all of this stuff. And you know what? I really respected that Erica yesterday said, you know what, I can't do this because you know when we do this, this is not like nandy pandy easy stuff. This is work. This is real work. And it takes us like really going deep within. It takes prayer, it takes acceptance, it takes love. This is not just something we can, if you are looking to find, yeah, you know, so yes, I love books, and that books take me deeper into myself, right? It opens up the expanse of my thinking. It doesn't determine what I think, right? And I am not here to tell you what to think, but I am here to remind you that you have the ability within you to experience this stuff. And so, if ecstasy is part of the journey, if accepting all of your full self is part of your journey, if this is about discovering how wonderful, please, please, please do this before you die, right? This is not something that 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 is just maybe, right? That's what we want to do. Oh, maybe. No, 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 no. You have a body for a reason. And it's not just to do other people's bidding and other people's work and to make sure you pleasure other people. There is something that you are supposed to get. You know, when I first started talking in public, I remember this woman getting up in the audience, and she says, "Oh, God spoke to me, and she wanted to share with me what she heard." And she says that God said, as long as you're in the business of blessing others, make sure you take yours off the top. And I'm like, whoa, right? Whoa, I'm out here and I'm giving and I'm not receiving what I'm giving. I'm just like letting it pass through. And that's what a lot of us do. We don't recognize that the blessing is meant for us too. The blessings that you give to others is not just for them. We go to work, we always othering, doing stuff for other people, people pleasing and all of that stuff. When are you going to get yours? You're going to get it when you take it. When you recognize that you are worthy of it. You are worthy of pleasure. You are worthy of ecstasy. You are worthy. And how do you know this? Because it's possible. somebody else has said that it's possible that they've received it. Why, if you got it, why can't I have it? Why am I not? And sometimes it's just having the audacity to do it. Uh, Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, yeah. Gretchen says books provide us with the opportunity to think outside of our own space. Yes. Yes, outside of our own space. Because what I know is, and this is what I talked about on Sunday and in the sermon, is usually what we see is we aspire by, to the things that we do by what we see. And if all we see around us is the limitations and lack and what we can't do, if all we see around us is prison walls, then that's what we aspire to, is just being on the other side. We ain't even aspiring to get outside the door. We only aspire to the littleness that we see around us. And this opens us up to so much more. That's what books do for us. Let me see. Yesterday, Tony says, yesterday was very powerful. I really enjoyed the conversation. Fabulous. Okay. Thank you, Tony. I'm enjoying the conversation myself, because what it does is it opens up stuff for me too, stuff that I don't even know is there. Right. And so when I hear this idea about ecstasy being possible, and us being worthy, and just kind of like in fully inhabiting who we are, when this idea of things having their own energy field is presented, when all of this stuff comes to bear, it's like, not only is it coming to bear for me because I am getting this on a different level, but to share it. One of the things that A Course in Miracles says is that you learn what you teach. And so part of the talking about it, part of the exploring it, is part of this is waking up something for me too. I ain't perfect, right? But I know that this is possible. How do I know it's possible? Right. I've had moments of ecstasy. Ooh, but life gets in the way, don't it? All right. Because it don't always show up like it's supposed to, right? You didn't call me. Well, you ain't call me, right? You get stuck in the how it's supposed to be, and everybody, the bell rings and you go over there to your respective corner in this corner, and rather than saying, oh, I'm enjoying this fight, we get out the ring all together. Right. And so part of this is a learning process, right? We had glimpses that this is possible. And so I think that when we actually begin to walk in that direction and to own it, like it is supposed to be part of who we are, it's supposed to be here, supposed to be present. When we start to do that, I think that we will experience way more than what we've ever thought possible. Yeah, don't let anybody shame you into silence or into complacency, right? This is yours to do. And I am so glad that you're on this journey with me. It's time for me to go, but I bless you. I bless this day. And I would encourage you to, even if you need to sit in silence or begin to ask your body what it's feeling, whatever that may mean for you, I think that's a worthy pursuit. It's absolutely a worthy pursuit. Hey, you can share yesterday's video with somebody that you think could benefit. You can share today's video. I appreciate all of your time and your attention. And this message is not just for me. That's why I'm doing this. Me and Stephanie are doing this here live, because it's not just for us alone, but rather it should be something that draws people. And if somebody is, we never know what somebody's blockage is, right? and hopefully we are, if you get something that we are not addressing, we appreciate, dropping a line or a word, even if you do it off on in Messenger, that's great too. But what we're trying to do is just trying to really shed some light on this stuff, on all of it, because we're not just talking about your libido, we are talking about the fullness of you. And so this is just one section, and yeah, and hopefully this will open up something for you so it lights up all the other sections. Because I kind of I kind of wonder if we could truly be spiritual without also being sexual, right? Because spirituality, um it's on my timeline, Jessica, beautiful. Hey. Because sexuality unites us. It dissolves away the divisions that we perceive ourselves to have with other people. So I would encourage you to yeah, to share it, and to explore and to see, you know yeah, to see how that can be beneficial, not just to you but to other people you come in contact with. And I think in the conversation, it creates good conversation, intimate conversation. All right, I gotta go. I love you all, and I will be here same time tomorrow, 7:15 to 7:20 ish, and yeah, I look forward to the conversation. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. And thank you everybody for your comments. And yeah, thanks.